Your dating and relationship non-negotiables. I feel kind of like a broken record because I talk about this a lot. And the reason I talk about this a lot is it's that important and I believe in it that much. And, sometimes we hear things we're like, okay, yeah, that sounds good, but maybe sometimes we need to hear them again. And the reasons. I love justification. I love when I can justify the positive because that's important. And that has to do with, negative thoughts and, things that tend to make us go on the wrong path. And sometimes we need to hear things more than once before we receive them or before they make sense. And I love when I'm super logical, so I love when things make sense. That just makes me happy all day long. But I know this to be true because I lived it. So I'm speaking from experience as well as education on having non-negotiables and why it's important. And it's important if you say non-negotiable to yourself that you stand by that. You stick to it. You do not negotiate. You do not deviate from non-negotiables, period. Because once you do that, it's kind of like, what's the point? And you lose trust in yourself and belief in yourself when you do that. So don't do that. But non-negotiables are super important to have. It's kind of like setting boundaries, but a little bit deeper because you can cover more things that you absolutely do not want in your life. And it's really simple math. It is. If you start to eliminate those things that you do not want in your life, guess what? You will have more time and energy to have things that you do want. And that's kind of how it works. It's kind of like tricking the brain almost, but you're actually looking at it for yourself. And, we are always having temptation thrown at us in every direction for everything from, clothing to food to people to, it's just amazing. But if you are susceptible to giving into that temptation, then you should focus on some other things before you're starting to date anyway. So, non-negotiables are vitally important. I mean, if you don't have those, then you're focused on what you want. And it's a needle in a haystack, and what you want will change. Think about it. What did you want 2 years ago, a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago? What did you want? Do you still want that? Or do you want something else? That's an evolving thing all the time, but the non-negotiables really don't change. And if you don't like certain personality traits, certain things, keep them out of your life and focus on what you're going to keep out of your life, because that also opens up your mind to allow other things in. And that's really important if you want to find success in dating. So make your non-negotiable list for relationships and dating. It should be the same. And read it to yourself every day and do not deviate. And I promise you, if you do this, you will find that you have more positive things in your life than you do right now. Good luck.